Hi, Sasha. Welcome. Thank you so much for meeting with me today.
Thank you for having me.
So you first want to start by just thanking you for your work that you've done here at Sentio. You really appreciate all that you've done here. And essentially what we're going to do over this interview is just kind of ask you questions about your experience here. So are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Okay. The first question is, how has training at the Sentio Counseling Center been helpful for you?
Well, actually, last night it was it was a testimony to how helpful it's been. I was able to practice chair work with a client, and he had a beautiful breakthrough. And the first thing I did was I emailed Alex, who's leads our skills training lab, and I sent him the video. And it was just in real time seeing, what I practiced in skills lab and what we practiced together really does help the clients. And even though I was like nervous about it, I've done it before. And so like that's the value of being able to practice this beforehand.
Right. That's beautiful. Thanks so much for sharing that. That obviously speaks volumes to your work as well. So great job. Second question is, what do you think makes Sentio Counseling Center different from other training sites?
You know, it has to do with the leadership above all. There's just a level of, communication, transparency, and really checking in. I've been to other sites, I've worked at other sites, and that is something that sets Sentio apart, is that you can access leadership for guidance and just to understand what's going on, and you're always looped in. And so that's something I really value, especially like, being a new trainee. It's like that's what you want, right? You want that community, and Cynthia really builds that from top down.
So that sounds great. I totally agree, especially when I was a trainee, I totally felt the same way. We're treated as equals, right? I think
Yeah,
that's a very beautiful thing to start off as, especially as a trainee.
exactly.
Um, when you talk with your friends and peers at your graduate program, how are their practicums different from Sentio Counseling Center?
The big thing that like comes up is just, again, kind of the admin side of them not really understanding the process or having to learn the process and feeling as if they're not really guided along that step. Whereas again with Sentio, we have a great admin team. Our clinical director really kind of sets things up really easy for us in that sense and is always communicating along the way. So the organization and again just the clear communication so that everyone knows what is expected of them and we're able to meet that expectation.
Great, great. How challenging is it to you? Sorry, how challenging is it to do your practicum at Sentio Counseling Center?
you know, it's not easy, right? Or else we wouldn't be here and we wouldn't be training as hard as we are. So I will not say it's easy, but the thing is, I came here for the challenge,
Mm.
right? And that's why I chose Sentio because, like I said, I was at other locations and I really wanted to be challenged. I wanted my skills to improve, not to just, be okay with the status quo, but I wanted to challenge myself in order to be a better clinician for my clients. And so Sentio, I think, epitomizes the fact that, hey, we challenge you in order for you to improve so that you can feel confident in what you do as a clinician. So it's challenging, but worth it.
Awesome. I love your feedback. Let's see. Please describe what it is like doing deliberate practice here at Sentio.
Oh, so deliberate practice is like the bread and butter here at Sentio. And it was intimidating at first, right? The idea that you're going to see yourself, in session recorded and then go over almost in minute details about what happened and what you did and how the client responded. It can really be intimidating. And yet there's something beautiful about it. One, it's validating to see yourself as the clinician and also validating for the client to recognize, oh, how can I actually help the client better if this comes up again? What would I have wanted to do, in this scenario and what can I do in the future? And so deliberate practice really makes you think about that. It creates an introspection in order to think, what can I do possibly when this arises again so that I can do better and better each time? So,
Great,
yeah.
great, great. When you talk with your friends or peers at your graduate program, do any report challenges finding a good practicum site? And can you please describe what they say?
Yes. So I think the biggest challenge with finding a practicum site would be appropriate supervision hours. A lot of times that's really hard to get. Uh, Being able to work with couples, that one is another difficult one for students. I hear it all the time, and I actually ran into that as well. And those are two things that I think Sentio covers extremely well. I have like three or more supervisors. So and I feel like I'm gaining a new perspective from each of them on something. So I'm learning a lot. And on top of that, it's like, what was my second one? Oh, sorry.
No, I think that's great. I think your answer is wonderful, and I think that's also wonderful and so amazing that you have three different supervisors that are able to really see different techniques as well. I think that could definitely
Yeah.
benefit you. And I've seen just in the way that you're presenting yourself so much confidence that you have within yourself leaving in the next month as going on to get your associates. And that's such a beautiful thing to see so much progress in you. So great job.
Thank you.
What kind of graduate student do you think would be a good fit for the Sentio Counseling Center practicum?
Hmm. I think the graduate student that, comes into counseling really wanting to be of service to others and wanting to just better understand how they can do that, to the highest degree. The graduate student that's curious about human nature and the uniqueness of it all and wanting to gain a broader perspective of that. That's who Sentio attracts. Someone who wants to challenge themselves, who's not okay just where they are, but knows there's like more they can learn.
Right.
And Sentio already attracts that. I have the highest respect for each and every one of my cohort, friends and group members, because I see the work that they do and how much they challenge themselves. And then you see it show up with the clients and it's working and that their clients are gaining so much value from it. And so, yeah, that's a graduate student.
That's wonderful. That's
Yeah.
wonderful. And the last question is, do you have anything else you'd like to say about your experience here at Sentio or the Sentio Counseling Training Program?
I just say, it's ending too soon for me. It's been a year. It's probably been my most challenging, influential year. I've learned so much, and I know that like to be able to launch like my associates phase now after coming to Sentio, I think is what makes me so confident because of the training that I've received here. I'm confident to know that I can go to the next phase and like help clients at a higher level than I would have had I just like, went somewhere else or not gotten the training that I've been able to have here. So I think that's what it is. I'm a more confident counselor because of Sentio.
Great. That's beautiful. And I want to again thank you so much for your work here at Sentio. I think that you've done such a wonderful job, and I truly, truly admire all your skills. You've seen so many countless number of like clients here. You've always had a really big caseload, and you've done it so beautifully and been able to really work with each client like intricately, and your work shows wonders. So great job with all your work here. And thank you for our interview today.
Of course. Thank you so much. This has been great.